Roddy Piper.
The rowdy one.
Who do you think is one of the actors that we've done the most of?
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell and now Roddy Piper. We got 2 movies.
Do we only have 2 Kurt Russells?
We never did Escape from New York, but we did.
We did The Thing. We did Big Trouble in Little China. Maybe that is it.
I think that's it.
Maybe.
I'd have to go look through the archives.
Well, there you go. We've done Bill Maher. Just that one time.
Yeah, the only time.
Yeah.
Not even worth it.
Never know. We might throw in Amazon Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death sometime.
Maybe.
Never know.
You never know. Just don't.
Let's get this party started.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
5, 4, 3.
Quite good. Attack warning. Is it for real? Attack warning. It's for bloody real.
Live from Colorado Springs, the Drop Culture Podcast.
Want to confirm, is this an exercise? Roger, copy. This is not an exercise.
Come on, quick, get down. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome, everybody, to the Drop Culture Podcast. I'm Dan.
I'm Brock.
And this is that podcast where we take that piece of pop culture that you forgot about or missed, shine it up real nice, and cram it in your ear holes. Tonight we're talking about a little film starring the rowdy one, Roddy Piper. And I'm talking...
Yeah.
I'm not talking about They Live. We've already done that.
Yep. Same year, though.
That's right. We're talking about Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Hell Comes to Frogtown.
If you're not familiar with this cinematic masterpiece, you will be by the time we're done.
Yes, I'm going to give you a little lowdown on it. After a worldwide nuclear war, 68% of the male population is wiped out, and virile men become a rarity. Sam Hell, H-E double hockey sticks, Hell, a highly potent man, gets thrust
I see what they did there.
into a mission to help rescue some fertile women from humanoid frogs.
Soldier's job is never done.
I know, right? Well, I did that. I put that together.
Oh, nice.
I paraphrased some things, I think. But, okay, so
this is the 1988 film. Let me ask you this. Where did you first see this movie?
last year.
Really?
Yeah. No, I didn't even know it existed.
Wow. Okay. I think I saw this originally on one of the USA Up All Nights.
Really?
I think so. Or some version thereof, you know what I mean? I remember seeing it very late at night on USA, for sure.
There's only a couple boobies in it, right? I don't think there was that many. Yeah.
Some boobies.
So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad. So who's in this movie besides Roddy Piper?
Well, mostly Roddy Piper. But you also have Sandahi Bergman.
Sandal.
Oh.
I think it's Sandal.
Oh, is it?
Sandal Bergman. Which
maybe I just can't read.
Yeah. Which she used to be an actual dancer even before she did Conan.
I was getting ready to say, I remember her from Conan.
Mm-hmm. Everybody always remembers from Conan, which I think she was even... it looked like she even lost weight, between Conan and there, of course, right?
Right.
Because she had like a no nudity clause in this one, so of course, just like in Conan. Well, I think she was naked in Conan, maybe. I don't know.
Well, it makes sense that she was a dancer because her first two movies were movies where she was dancers. Mm-hmm. That would be Mama, which I've never heard of, and then All That Jazz, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
With
she was
Roy
in,
Scheider.
She was also in Xanadu.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So, You know who Sandal Bergman is. Also starring Sek Varel. I don't.
Well, before we move on from Sandal, so oddly enough, for Conan the Barbarian, she won the Golden Globe for New Star of the Year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
And the Actress Saturn Award for Best Actress.
Really?
Or the Saturn Award for Best Actress. However, for Red Sonja, where she played Queen, because she was Valeria in Conan, but in Red Sonja, she played Queen Gedrin.
Huh.
And she was nominated for a Razzie Award for Worst Supporting Actress.
Yeah, because wasn't she the bad?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was the bad one in that. Yeah, which is kind of weird. And of course, Conan's character was changed.
Yes.
To whatever that was.
And so in this movie, she is Spangle.
It's a weird name.
Well, stars and
Spangle. Okay, so I guess I can't say her name. Is it Sec? C-E-C? C-C? C? Maybe. She was mainly like a television actress.
Yeah.
And
she is like, in this one, she is Sentinella.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the one that runs the 50 cal or whatever's on top of the vehicle, right?
She's a badass in that. Yeah. And she's like, well, of course, with that synopsis, I mean, 68% of the males are gone. So, I mean, the women have taken control of a lot of things, right?
Yeah, and what is the name of their organization again?
Oh, shit.
MedTech or something like that?
MedTech.
MedTech, is that what it is?
I'm pretty sure.
At any rate.
Yeah.
I mean, they are all about finding some men that can produce some, good potent sperm.
Well,
because they're trying to repopulate.
Right.
Even their signs say stuff about repopulating and no condoms and
it's good for you. Yeah. Well, whenever I watched this, because I did watch it pretty much about 2 times this week.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Mad Max in a way. But not really too much, It's just the post-apocalyptic / badass dude, right? And then it so totally does not take itself seriously, 100%. I mean, why would you?
How could you?
Yeah,
you're like frog mutants.
Yeah, and they're humanoid.
1988.
Frogs. Yeah.
Agreed. I do like the beginning when they are giving you the background, and they're like, they thought they got in a disagreement. And then they thought that if they fired some missiles, only a couple missiles would be fired back, and then everybody would be sad. But what really happened is the whole world, civilization got destroyed.
Yeah, within what did they say, 10 days or something like that?
Yeah,
10 hours. 10 hours later. Okay. So that very much reminds me of Robot Jocks, which we just did. You know how they had that kind of opening where it was kind of telling you what had happened, Well,
you got to get a little narrative if you're going to be throwing in some frog towns. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe Robot Jocks lives in the same world. Maybe they're part of the same.
Maybe these people are all just outlanders.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it was all about populating the species again with Robot Jocks.
Yeah,
that's so weird.
They had an incentive. Right?
Right.
Get a bigger house.
That's so weird.
More stuff. More kids you have, which is not the way it works in the real world.
No.
More kids, less money.
Well, immediately after that, we get the title sequence, right? I love the way that they put together the color halftone stuff and the colors on the deal. They look like it just looked badass. The stills with the inkings. I don't know. It was one of those things I was like, man, I really
some craftsmanship.
Right.
Yeah. Which is, great.
It's
a New World picture from 1988.
Something like that though. It's so crazy. They just kind of gave them free reign to do whatever they wanted to. You see the entire movie in it.
Right.
Except for a couple little things, but you see pretty much everything in it. Even Roddy Piper with a little bitty samurai sword.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Samurai knife. But Yeah, whenever it opens up, of course, Roddy Piper is sitting in a chair, right? Oh,
Right.
yeah, we haven't even finished with the cast yet. Whoops. But Conan's dad is in it too.
Yes.
Conan's dad, which his name is, William Smith. Everybody knows William Smith because he is one of the biggest, I don't know, he's a big dude, but he's also a big character actor.
And not Will Smith, the Fresh
No.
Prince of Bel-Air.
And not Will I Am.
No.
I can't really speak to anybody else that was in this movie. I know that there might have been some good people, like maybe the old dude or something, but those are our principals. And that's all we really need to know.
That's
Yeah.
I don't think we have
So,
a whole lot beyond that.
This is what I found really funny about who they were going to choose for Sam Hell.
Okay.
Daniel Stern was in the running.
What?
Exactly. Why the hell was Daniel Stern in the running for a post-apocalyptic badass? Okay.
So it would have been an interesting choice for sure.
Okay. Do you know the name Tim Thomerson?
Tim Thomerson.
He was in Trancers.
Yes.
Doll Man.
Yep.
You know that dude?
I'm with you.
Okay. He was on Near Dark too. I need to rewatch that movie.
That was a great movie.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
Good movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of really cool people in it.
Yeah,
Lance
yeah.
Henriksen and
Of course.
yeah. Okay. So then there's another dude, because the role was actually wrote for the Tim Thomerson guy, right?
Okay.
But there's this,
Oh, really?
yeah, it was wrote for him, and I don't think the studio wanted him, right? So it's
Okay.
kind of weird. And then you got Ed Marianaro. Have you seen this dude? When you see his picture, you'll be like, I've seen him on things, right?
Right.
His biggest credit was a Falcon Crest credit. Yes.
Whoa.
He was
Come
in
on
like
now.
4 episodes of that. He was mainly a TV guy. You know,
Okay.
he really was. So I thought that was weird before Piper got the role. Come on. You had these guys that were Daniel Stern, of course. I mean, is a good actor.
Sure.
He's on the upper echelon, unlike Roddy Piper or Tim Thomerson. You know what I mean? But they took a chance. They
did.
On Roddy Piper.
Well, and this was kind of the time he was breaking out into movies too, right? Because we got They Live, I think we mentioned that same year, right?
Yeah. He had an acting coach that was on set with him,
Okay.
right? Whenever he made it.
It's probably a good idea.
But you can see the night and day difference between this movie, Hell Comes to Frogtown, and They Live, which is crazy because in They Live, he was, it just seemed like it was natural for him.
Right.
But it was the character was natural, as we've talked about. This one he still had that Roddy Piper swagger, you know,
Right.
like, oh, you know what I mean? Like a badass. But yet it wasn't honed yet as far as for the movies, I would have to say.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell that this is his second time because Body Slam was before this one. Body Slam. Take your body to the limit. Body Slam.
Well, at least he got to make that in practice a little bit or something.
Right. With with Face from the A-Team.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
how could you go wrong?
Right. So, now the director and the writer, they all shared duties with everything. They had 2 directors on this movie. They were headline. And it was directed
oddly
by
enough, Donald G.
Home Dude.
Jackson, which is Samuel L. Jackson's brother.
Yeah.
Not really.
And he also wrote it too,
Yes.
right? And produced it. Randall Frakes, I think, was the other. No, it was R.J. Kaiser. Donald Jackson, you know, he did he did a movie called Rollerblade, you know. Ugh.
You might know from being bored.
From the movie Baby Ghost.
Wow, I did not know that he made that many rollerblade movies. Dude, I did not know there were that many rollerblade movies. There's Rollerblade Warriors Taken by Force, the Rollerblade 7, Legend of the Rollerblade 7. Are you fucking kidding me? That's all in the course of like 7 years. What?
Somebody gave him money after the first movie, Rollerblade.
What? That's just crazy, Tom.
Sorry, I sound like Muttley. That is so weird.
Well, and something else I learned while we were, watching this movie and doing research. I didn't know there were sequels of this movie.
I know. There's like 3 of them.
Yeah, there's like, I think the latest one was like the Max Hell Frog Warrior or whatever. Yeah. So is that Sam Hell's son?
I don't
it makes
know.
sense. He would have a lot of kids because he's,
Well, yeah, he pretty much populated the Earth. There'd be a lot of weird
and there was
combos out there.
And that was like 2002, and then there was a Toad Warrior in 1996, which is, I guess, one of them. What?
Return of the Rollerblade 7. There was a return to Frogtown.
And just so you know the level we're talking about here, this gentleman also made. I'm gonna name 3 movies for you real quick. You ready? Roller Gator, because what's better than that? Oh, I'll tell you what's better than that. The Guns of El Chupacabra.
What?
There's 2 of those.
Oh my god!
Because there's Guns of El Chupacabra 2, The Unseen.
Oh my god!
Dude, lingerie kickboxer. Come on. So you know the level of movie we're talking about.
He literally wanted to create his own USA Up All Night.
Yeah, 100%. Like every movie, he's like,
yeah, it's like,
this is going to be Donald G. Jackson Up All Night.
He worked with a lot of people, but whenever he was like, so they're like, okay, what's your portfolio look like?
Is that really work at that point? Like, I feel like somebody just gave him money and said, here, smoke this.
Yeah. But it wasn't
it'd be cool if girls were doing high kicks in lingerie.
Oh my God, that's Ninja 4.
What if we returned to Frogtown? Wouldn't that be cool?
Is he doing kids movies too, like Little Lost Sea Serpent?
I have no idea. That's probably not a kids movie. It's probably like gory. I have no idea.
He did a movie called Carjack. Jesus, he did a lot of stuff in '93.
That's why I made all my best movies in '93.
But Roller Gator sounds interesting.
Pocket Ninjas?
Oh.
That sounds perverted.
If you're listening to this, dude, I'm sorry for laughing because a lot of your movies were crazy. UFO Secret Video.
Yeah, no.
The Demon Lover. Wow. I didn't know there was such a thing as like a rollerblade genre of movies. I knew there were Solar Babies.
Which he didn't make, oddly enough.
That's so crazy. Come on.
Where you at, Donald? Come on. You let other people make rollerblade movies? Come on.
That was the ultimate thing right there. Okay,
so we should go away from Donald G. Jackson.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and Randall Frakes, he was a big time writer back in the day.
Okay.
He did a lot of movie novelizations.
Okay.
He even did the screenplay for Rollerblade and all the other Rollerblade movies.
So they just like worked together,
right.
Did a bunch of blow.
Yeah. He did synthesizer.
I shouldn't say that because they probably didn't.
No, they didn't have that much money.
No.
Oh my God, he has an unproduced screenplay of Deathlock.
What?
Yeah. Wow.
He worked on Escape from New York.
I know, yeah. I mean, he's True Lies, Co-Story.
So this guy's done some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did Rollerblade and Rollerblade Warriors.
And then he did that. And
wow. Huh.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting about the Deathlock deal.
I think it's interesting that he wrote True Lies with James Cameron.
Yeah.
But it seems like he's friends with him, right?
Yeah.
Him and somebody else I think I read about.
Bill Wisher.
I don't know who the hell that is.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bill Wisher.
Sorry, dude. Okay.
But when you start out with Roger Corman, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Nowhere to go but sideways.
Well, I don't see a budget on this film.
I did earlier. I don't believe it was on their Wikipedia, but it was on something, and I believe it was $1.5 million.
Oh.
And the estimate that they made was $1.5 million. So they broke even. They broke even on the Frogtown, which obviously would make you want to spawn 3 sequels.
Right. Why not? In between rollerblade movies.
Do you feel... I'm not sure that I consider this like a cult movie.
Really?
But maybe I need to, because I didn't know they had 3 sequels, and somebody had to have watched those.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Somebody gave you money to make them.
Yeah, somebody's
People
like, you know
acted
what
in
we
them.
need is Max Hell.
They're like, let's do it again. I think they're even talking about another one.
Like, new one?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah. So
That's scary.
well, it would be cool if they like redid it. Maybe.
Everybody look like Gungeons.
Gungans.
Like Gungans or whatever. Yeah.
Misa want you bad. Misa gonna do the 3 snake dance. Okay. You want to get into the movie now?
Oh, I bet we better.
We need to.
We need to.
Okay, so after the title sequence, it starts off with Sam Hale sitting in a chair, right? He's just kind of chilling, right? And, well, no, he's being interrogated because apparently he slept with Home Dude's daughter.
Oh, right.
The general or
he likes
whatever.
to get it on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's very promiscuous.
Yes.
Because he's got a potent seed. I don't think he knows that he's got a potent seed, but all the
he
women
just
are
likes
like,
to get it
"Damn."
on.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
post-apocalyptic.
Right.
What else are you going to do?
I don't know how his nuts were shielded, and everybody else's weren't. He must have been underground.
He's Rowdy
like,
Roddy Piper.
Right. He must have.
He's like, I got super nuts. I spent my whole career picking on people that are like a foot taller than me and weigh like 100 more pounds.
I got
these
super
balls
nuts.
of steel, my friend.
That's maybe why they considered him. They're
Yeah.
like, dude, that guy's a badass. I mean, he's taking on the Giant and Hulk Hogan. Well, balls of steel. That'll work. So yeah, he's sitting there, and Home Dude like cracks a bottle over his head, and kicks him down, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna." And then they come in to the deal. Sandal Bergman and I guess a head doctor.
Yeah.
They kind of kick in the door, and he's like, "What are you doing here? How'd you get here?" And they're like, "This way." And they show the badge, right?
Right.
And her too, and points to Sandal Bergman. He's like, "Whoa!" And I think because the med tech is like the biggest entity.
Yeah.
They pull or they do all the words, everything like that,
Yeah,
right?
and they're
Do all the words.
they do all the words. But they're like a female ran research science division of some sort.
Well, when they ran
Military division?
they ran his blood or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? And they figured out through his blood that he had highly potent,
Which doesn't make any sense, really.
Yeah.
There's no science there.
spermatozoa.
I would have been more impressed if she would have walked over and just started yanking on his crank.
Like, yep, it works.
That's good stuff right there.
Grade A quality.
Sperm.
Spunk. You got spunk, kid. So
Little
yeah.
on your dress. Oh.
So the next part, they're sitting in the doctor's office, right? And he's got something around his crotch. And she's like, "Hey, we know that you're."
Don't we see those girls getting taken at some point before that?
I don't think so.
And the dude getting shot with the Statue of Liberty?
Oh yeah. The frog,
which
dude's
kind
there.
of like it kind of sets the tone, I think, for the movie. Like, this is the wasteland.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And the dude behind the mask, Squid Lips or whatnot.
Yeah, whole squid lips.
He kind of does a Planet of the Apes / Strange Brew.
Yeah.
Where he picks up the Statue of Liberty and it's all bronze, and then he kills him. I don't think we see them getting captured. It's just like that, and then you see Piper.
Okay.
And it's weird because it's out of context.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and he just shoots him. He's like, "You're not supposed to have a gun, squid lips." Shoots him in the chest, right? I don't even know why that was there, you know?
I think just to establish the world.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
It
this
was
is
like
what
an
it's
abandoned...
out there in the wastelands.
It was an abandoned, I don't know,
Destroyed.
dirigible
Yeah.
building or some shit like that.
It's destroyed.
Yeah. So now he's sitting in the doctor's chair, right?
Yeah.
And
He's got his cock blocker on.
he's got a chastity belt.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, how do I?"
It's got a
you know,
flap.
It's got a flap. And when you hear it go off too, it sounds like a briefcase. It deals like, you know that sound. If you're listening, you know the fucking sound of that. So they make him sign all these forms. It's like a contract, right?
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
just blindly signs them because he
Right.
doesn't have to go to jail. He doesn't have to get killed.
Clean slate.
Right. As long as he goes out and
Because he was wanted for a lot of things.
right.
Yeah.
And he goes out as long as he goes out and impregnates every one of the women in the wild, which is weird.
Yeah, as long as they're fertile.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And so of course Sandal Bergman's in charge of him.
Well, and I love the line like where she's like, "That's military proper. Or that's proper.
Yes.
Tech property now."
Yeah. She's got that basically. Well, we don't really find out for a little while what it entails, but it says property of the government
Yes.
on it. And apparently they're still in war too. You know,
Yeah,
they mentioned
yeah.
that like several times, right?
Yeah.
So I guess he gets his clothes back, right? With the crotch cut out of his jeans.
How else are you going to wear those?
Right?
You know?
Right?
Jeans.
And so they start, that's where you get to see Citronella or whatever her name is.
No, that's something like that. Yeah. No mosquitoes around her.
So you see Citronella, and she's got like you said, the 50 cal on the top of the bread truck.
And I just remember when I watched this as a youth, thinking, man, she's way hotter than the girl that's the main girl.
It's the glasses.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. No, but she is. And
Why
if
is she not the main girl?
If you see her with hair, you're like, no. It's just the way she had her haircut.
Probably. I don't know. I was a kid. Who
Yeah.
cares?
So whenever they're walking out, the head nurse and Sandal Bergman are talking, and she mentions that she's got the little deal on her earring.
Yeah.
That if he gets out of line, then she could always shock his nuts, right?
Right. And doesn't it have an ounce of plastic explosives or something in it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if she wants to, she can trigger it
dick.
and explode his pecker.
It's a pecker plosion.
So they get into that bread truck was weird.
Oh, it was so good. It was like a 50s or late 40s.
Yeah,
kind
panel
of
truck or something like that.
Yeah,
Right?
it reminded me a lot of the Pussy Wagon. Though.
Yeah. Yeah, it
From,
was pink too.
Yeah, from Kill Bill.
Yeah.
I think that's why.
Yeah, it was pink and it had a hole cut in the roof because that's where Citronella stands.
With her 50 cal.
Right. She caresses that thing. She
Yeah,
loves it, right?
yeah. She likes her gun.
Yeah. So, of course, Sam Hell's legend is everywhere. Like every
Apparently,
woman knows
yeah.
Sam Hell, They're like, oh, are the legends true? So who's the first person that they run into when they're going out to the wasteland?
Are you talking about the border guard people?
Yes. Yeah. It's the dude that was beating him up at the very beginning because she sent him out to the wasteland to be that border guard.
And we did see a cool part where the head nurse like hip tossed him or something like earlier. Like during the interrogation thing or whatever.
He was Spangle. Like catches his arm because he has that broken bottle and like flips him and shit. You're like, oh, okay.
Spangle's badass.
Yeah,
that's who it was.
Yeah.
that did it. Anyways, but so he's like a big prick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sam Hell slept with his daughter or something like that.
Yeah.
So
I feel like if it's the potent guy, if she's fertile, you're probably happy that your line gets to go on at that point.
he's still a dad.
Yeah. How old's your daughter?
Yeah, right. She's
like
probably
30.
like 34 or something.
Slept with my daughter.
Well, that's
Murdered the dirter.
that's when we learn a little bit more about what their mission is, besides just going out there and impregnating or repopulating the world.
Well, before we get there, because I love that the border guards were like sitting in the lawn chairs. Like when they show up, they're like, "Whoa, people!
Wow, why are they leaving?"
And they're like, "Why are you even stopping? Why didn't you just go around that?"
Right.
Or through it, because he has to even go flip it manually up.
He's like, open the gates. I was like, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because, he grabs that piece of paper from her.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't care what your paper says. It's like, throws it at her. And it's like,
there's
just go.
a little bit of a Mexican standoff.
Right.
With the girl with a 50 cal.
Yeah. And the other two dudes are like, whatever.
Right.
You woke me up.
Right.
Bastards.
But yeah, then we find out that they're going to save a group of sex slaves from the Frogtown.
Yeah, supposedly. They are very fertile women.
Yes.
I guess they stole them, the toady dude or whatnot.
Right.
Stole them to go to Frogtown for some reason.
Right. That's what you do with your slaves, I guess.
Exactly, right?
Your women's slaves, if you're a frog man.
Yeah. So they do stop to go pee, right?
Yes.
Or they stop to do something. I don't know what it was. And Piper's like, well, I'm going to go around that bush. I'll be right back. And he's like, yeah, I got away. And before too long, all of a sudden his nuts start getting shocked.
Well, it starts like beeping.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck? It's like, he's like, oh, and she comes around the corner. She was really close, right?
Yeah.
And she's like,
she's a ninja.
She's like, see this on my earring? This is triggered. If you get too far away, there's a sensor in it. And if you try to tamper with it, it's going to blow your nuts off.
Yeah.
Right?
Got some plastic explosives.
Yeah. So that leads us to the very first night in camp.
Yes.
They spend a lot of nights under the stars. Okay.
As you do in a post-apocalyptic world.
Right.
On your way to Frogtown.
So it's Sandal Bergman and Citronella, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of, or Spangler and Citronella. And they're both kind of eyeballing.
Yeah.
Spangler's like, whoa, hey. Or Spangle. I was calling her Spangler. Spangle, is like...
I knew what you meant.
She starts, I don't know, like thinking, maybe,
She wants someone that dare.
Yeah. She comes out and like with hardly anything on, right? And of course Piper's like, I don't want to do anything with you. And she's like, are you sure? And well, okay, why not, right? And then she shocks him in the nuts, doesn't she? He does something.
So this is before they catch that girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she gets all like mad for some reason and then goes into the tent and like kind of looks out and then like zips it back down, right? You're like, whatever.
The tension is real.
Yeah. So all of a sudden Citronella shows up because it's later in the night and she's like, I wanted to see if the legend was true. Totally gets, everything out, right? Yes. She's all over Sam Hill, right? And he's like, there's a flap. And that's when you hear the briefcase open.
Right.
And they start doing it. And then, of course, Spangle comes out. And it's like, what are you guys doing? I told you, you're out of uniform. Because Citronella's like, we don't got a lot of time.
Right.
Let's do this now.
Get it on.
Yeah. So, then that leads to the next day. Where they're still just driving along. Yeah. It's a road movie.
Yeah.
It's like a Bob Hope road movie.
It's a lot like Easy Rider.
Yeah.
But not at all.
and then
with frogs and clowns.
And that's when they camp again, huh?
Well, and isn't this where they find the girl that she wants her to have sex with?
Yeah. They see the one in the wild and they're like chasing her, right?
Yeah.
And she falls down.
And then they test her.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, she's fertile.
And he gives her, what's the drug? Something that makes her ovulate and like apparently like...
Yeah.
Ecstasy. I don't know.
Yeah. She's all aroused
like
and everything.
All aroused and dirty.
Yeah, but she's all dirty, and Sam Hill's like, "Well, she's all dirty. That woman has never brushed her teeth." That was a great line.
It was.
She's never brushed her teeth. So I mean, she's like, "Oh, so you got to type now?" He's like, "Yeah,
Clean.
I can't do this." And she sits down to watch him do it, and he's like,
before that, yeah, because then
Yeah.
she starts stripping.
"Yeah," she's like, "I am.
I got away.
I'm trained in the art of this," and so she's
or seduction or whatever.
yeah.
It was,
So she like pretty much strips down and starts, and he's like, yeah, and then no, boy. So then she storms off again.
Yeah.
She's pissed, right? I don't know why. This time it was about something else because he still won't do it. Even though
girl.
I think he even mounts her too, like sits on top of her.
Yeah.
And so they wake up the next day, right? Because Citronella was watching the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know what, why he was like, "Oh, I don't like you."
Right.
So they wake up the next day and he's cleaned her up,
Right.
and they're laying together and she's like, "Did he clean her up? Wasn't me." And so, of course, then they what do they do with her? Who comes to get her? I think I think somebody comes to get her. She actually starts talking. So she she tells them where Frogtown is, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, "I ran for a full day and this is where I'm at." And it looked like she was wearing the drapes from The Simpsons and shit like that, all ripped up and messed up. So she must have been part of that original group.
Right.
So she's on her way back, I guess. And they end up at not necessarily the gates of Frogtown, but they're in the vicinity, right?
Yeah.
So Citronella hangs out. She's like, "Okay, I'm just waiting for the signal and I'll be there." And, of course, Spangle has to get pretty much undressed and a collar around her neck.
So she can be a slave that he's bringing into Frogtown.
Right. But
They totally Chewbacca and Lando Calrissian.
Yes.
That thing.
Yes.
Was it Lando? No.
No.
It was
No, is it?
Yeah.
It was Lando.
Yeah.
From Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they do the same move.
Yeah,
And they learned from
Well,
Lando.
and
They learned that from Billy D. Williams. That's all I'm
Right.
saying.
Well, they end up at a. Of course, you got the little bitty banter that they got where he's like pulling her and she's like, so mad about it and shit, right?
That's a little payback for him though, because
Yeah.
he's been kind of jerked around
Yeah.
the whole time,
Yeah, technically, yes.
Oh, hey.
So they end up at a martini bar in Frogtown, right? And he goes to the bar the first thing, because as soon as they walk in the door, you see somebody dancing, right? And they slowly pan up, and it's a frog woman.
Yeah, they're like, look at this sexy. Oh, it's a frog. Didn't guess that.
It was Frogtown, and there's a lot of other frog dudes in there.
Yeah,
But there's hardly any humans,
Right.
like regular dudes, besides the frog humanoids. So
Except for the old dude.
he shows up.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, it's been a long time. Last time I saw you was blah, blah, blah." It's like, well, I see your tastes have changed, because she's all clean and, looks like she's faking it.
Yeah, she's a real clean slave.
Yeah, right. And he's like, give me something to drink. And that's when he has that little comedic moment where his eyes cross and he's like, "Oh, it tastes like industrial waste," because he's like, "Give me a drink." And she's like, "What about me?"
He's like, you're a slave.
Yeah, right. And then he runs into the old dude, right?
Right.
So the old dude, he's got the miner hat and he's talking about mining uranium. He's like, underneath Frogtown, there's a ton of uranium.
Makes
They
sense.
didn't-
They're mutants.
Yeah, they didn't know anything about it. What are you doing with it, right? So he knows where everything's at, and he's like, "Oh, I'll set you up a meeting," right? And God, who was the dude that they set up the meeting with? It was like the dude with the fez hat.
Oh. Yeah.
It wasn't Toady.
No, it was Bull.
Yeah.
Bull Frog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's got the glasses around his eyes, and they're sitting down, and they're doing like a side deal.
Yeah.
Which is freaking weird, right? So that's when Toady comes in, because they're like, hey, you want to do some trades, and he's like, I'll do a deal with you.
Right.
Because he offers him like 10 smeckles or some shit like that, right?
Whatever. Yeah.
And he's like, nah, how about 50? And he's like, 75. That might get the fire started. What? All right. And she's like kicking him every once in a while. 'Cause she's like, oh, no. And they get up because right before they had that meeting, the frog stripper bumps into her and is like, I love you. He's like, whoa. I don't mean to interrupt the love story over here, right? And so after that, they end up in that meeting, but that was a code word.
Right.
That everything's on schedule. Okay, cool. Right? So home dude is like, Toady comes around and he's like, oh, well, you trying to do a side deal on me? He's like, no, I'm not. I'm really not trying to do it. Don't do it. And then he like takes him, right? Takes him away.
Right. Yeah, that's where they all get captured.
Yeah. And so he ends up.
And he's the one that tortures him, right? Is the second in command guy?
Yeah. And he's, I love that part too. It's so bad. So he's strung up on some industrial stuff, right? And Sandra Bergman's being drugged too. Yeah, Spangle's drugged, and then she's having like
they're making her dance.
Yeah, weird hot flashes and stuff.
3 snakes.
Yeah, she has to dance the 3 snakes dance or something like that.
Something.
So they're like getting her ready, Right. So they're like fanning her with silk and
it's the dance of the 3 snakes.
Yes. Well, and then the silk thing starts rubbing up against her earring. And it's shocking him in the nuts. Yes. And home dude, the toadie's got the he's got the freaking chainsaw.
Yeah, he's gonna take it off.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna cut it off, and he's like, no. He's like, and then all of a sudden he starts getting shot. He's like, cut it off, cut it off. He's just screaming at that point. And then that's when that's why he's refueling it.
Yeah.
Because he starts it up and he's like, it's explosive in there. And he's like, whatever. You think they're going to destroy their own weapon, and that's the best thing that they got. You know what I mean? So yeah, while he's screaming, cut it off, he's still filling up with gas, right? Yeah. So he comes back and he starts it up. And he's still getting tortured the whole time. And that's when he cuts it, right? And it falls off. And he's like, see, no explosion. He's like, oh, all right. And then it blows up in front of his face. Boom.
Right.
Yeah. Toadie's all knocked out, right? Because it was like enough just to either blow off your balls or knock a squid dude or a frog guy out, right?
Right.
So he gets out eventually, and then that's when Sandra Bergman's doing the dance of the 3 snakes
for the toadie.
For the big dude, was it Toady or
Toadie's the main guy?
Okay, so Toady is the main dude.
Commander.
Oh yeah, because who is the other dude?
I know there was Commander Toady, and then the bull guy who gets killed from the explosion from the chastity belt.
Okay. And then who was the dude they sat down with? I don't know. Anyway,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, you just got to watch it.
Yeah, you can watch this movie on your own for free on Tubi.
Yes, with commercials.
Yes.
So
as is just fine with this movie.
Yeah. So going back into the story,
yes,
she starts dancing the dance, right? Dance. They're like, "Oh, we hope you do well with this dance."
And he's like all about it.
Right. Commander Toadie's like, whoa.
Frog whoopity on.
Yeah, start dancing, and then all of a sudden he has 3 penises.
Yeah, well, as you do when you're a frog beating.
As soon as she does this really provocative dance, and then all of a sudden it's like, boing, 3 snakes. Oh, I get it. Right? I get it.
Yep.
And then what happens?
A little more on the nose
yeah.
than we thought.
And then what happens after that?
After that, that's when they don't they find the girls?
Well, she's already found them.
Okay,
because they were the ones that were.
But that's
getting
when
her
they
ready.
escape, right?
Yeah, I think he comes in there. Does he kill him or I don't even fucking remember.
Not good.
Yeah. Whoops.
Less than memorable.
Yeah. Yeah. Bull is the dude that tortures him, right?
Okay.
And then, of course, Toady. Dance of the Three Snakes sequence. And he's like, yeah. So now that Sam's free, right? He escapes and goes to the stripper, the frog stripper's room, right?
Right.
And she's like, I'll make it up to you, or you can make it up to me this way. He's like, no, I don't want to do this, right? So that's whenever they turn the corner and he stabs her with like a drill bit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And of course, Piper grabs it and then stabs him and throws him over, right? Stabs him and like picks him up and throws him. Then they go to get the girls too.
Yeah.
So they are escaping with the girls, right? And Toadie's all freaking out because he was all, three snakes were aroused, right?
Right.
So, so whenever they grab the girls and they got shotguns or something like that, right?
Yeah, they had some guns. And then they jumped in the pussy wagon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Did somebody shoot a flare or something like that?
Sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
So, because Home Dude was helping him, the old guy was helping him as well.
The minor 49er.
Yeah.
Yeah, because doesn't he get hit?
Yeah, he gets shot in the back or something like that, and Hell rescues him. Sam does, and pulls him into the pussy wagon, right? And so Citronella's like firing the gun.
I love that her name's Citronella.
Yeah. So Citronella's like going crazy with the gun, right? And they're chasing.
She's been waiting to shoot that gun for a while.
Hell yeah, I mean, and she's good with it too. At
Absolutely.
a distance,
Absolutely.
At a freaking distance, and then all of a sudden you see.
I don't even remember if it is a 50 cal, but it is a big gun.
Oh yeah, I think it is. It's one of those. Yeah, it's a big ass gun, tripod gun.
Yes.
So yeah, they think they got away. They're like, I can't believe it worked, but then all of a sudden they're like, get down, and you see, and it's like a tank car.
Yeah.
Fires a freaking tank missile,
a
tank bullet, and they're like, oh, I got to get out of the way. So then they end up where Captain Kirk and Gorn fought. Yeah. So which is weird because Gorn was like a frog type monster too. Yeah. And they're there, right? Because Home Dude, the general or the captain or whatnot, he was in there somehow.
Commander Toady?
No. The dude that was at the very beginning.
Okay.
Because he has like a gas mask on and he sounds all weird and stuff like that.
That's like that stops him with the gun.
Yeah. And he stops him because he's got a missile launcher or some shit.
He's got a rocket launcher and he's like on the he's got the high ground.
Yeah. And they're like, crap, whatever.
And he just starts going off about how dumb they are.
Yeah.
And then of course we get the awesome where he throws the katana like perfectly.
Yes.
And he's like, hand it to me. And they're like, I'm a pacifist. And he's just still yammering on. And finally she does, like, just raises it up a little bit. And then he throws it, like, right, like, all the way through the dude, too, you know?
But, yeah, he survives enough for them to have a massive battle.
A massive battle where he cuts off his hand.
Yeah, and that's pretty much where Bill and Ted get thrown off the edge.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good fall. It's what's really crazy in that scene right there, because he cuts off his hand and then they show him fall him and he has two arms, like two hands.
And
like
he
everything.
has two hands. I noticed that too. The effect was pretty good whenever they cut his hand off.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
But then you're like, oh well, he's got the other one to
go editing.
Yeah. So Toadie's still after him, and whenever he comes back down from the top after he kicks Home Dude's butt, right? That's whenever he finds that the car was destroyed. The pussy wagon was killed.
The pussy wagon was done.
Right? So that's when we get all right, we're done. Way to go. Because how did they get rid of freaking Commander Toady?
I just watched that movie for the second time before we did this.
Yes, we did.
And I don't remember.
I really don't. It's not a very memorable.
We chose a good one.
So, well, he's got the steel balls, and you know what? He still doesn't have a crotch in his pants after that too. So I wonder.
What'd you just say?
You know, whenever they show
the no crotch in his pants.
Yeah, they show the cod piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the it's all cut out around that.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened to that? Did he find another pair of jeans that fit?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
And that's where, like, as they're driving away, she's like, maybe after you do your duty, we can get some, or finish your duties. We can take some leave time together. And he's like, finish my duties. And they look back at all the girls back there, and he's like, soldier's work is never done.
Nice.
Score.
And then that is Hell Comes to Frogtown.
That's the whole movie.
I mean, what was really bad about that whole movie is we forgot half of the movie.
Which is weird.
I know.
Yeah.
I never really forget that much, but Jesus. That's pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, it definitely wasn't memorable for the plot lines or sequencing or pretty much anything other than,
Roddy Piper's,
most potent man alive.
Yeah, right. He was like, he just walks by women in that time.
Start
ovulating.
ovulating.
He just gets them pregnant by looking at them. Which is just, I mean, it's just so thrown together, but they have those long sequences of them camping.
They do. And I think that's just budgetary.
Yeah, they probably just like pulled the
How
car
easy
around
is
in a
that?
circle
You know what I
and
mean?
then like had another one.
Seriously, how hard is that to film?
Nothing.
Like, oh, we have a campsite here.
Yeah, and let's do this.
Okay. And then like the town seemed like it was obviously like coal plant or something.
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean?
Like I said, it was like a dirigible factory,
Yeah.
from the 1920s.
They're making dirigibles?
Yes.
Oh. I didn't get that.
Because
but
look how big it was.
it was big.
It was huge.
It was just like a big factory.
Right.
Yeah.
What could be manufactured in there?
Uranium.
Okay, there you go. Uranium.
I don't know. Probably not healthily.
No. Yeah. It was just weird. It was an old derelict building that was Frogtown. So they found it somewhere,
Well, I mean, obviously, the biggest reference to this is the live song. Gotta live in Frogtown. No, is that not how the song goes? My bad.
Come on, baby, leave some change behind. She was a bitch, but I don't care.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't really have a lot to say about this movie. I remembered it from, like I said, being young, but watching it again, yeah.
I will tell
watched
you
it again.
100%. I watched the entire movie
Sure.
without taking my eyes off of it, right? I didn't pick up my phone or anything, and I still forgot most of it.
I don't think you forgot most of it, but there's definitely sections where it's just kind of like,
When did this happen?
yeah. And
Who was that?
And I think some of it was not necessarily forgetting. Some of it is like, did something happen to get you there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There are sections of this movie that are like that. And it's a short watch, which is good, I guess.
Yeah, it was only 83 minutes or something
Yeah.
like that. So,
How many aroused snakes would you give it?
oh shit, I would give it 3 out of 3.
3 out of 3?
No.
Dang.
No, not at all. This is one of the bad movies that I'm really going to say was one of the worst.
It wasn't good.
No.
And there was some fun to it. There were some parts. And yeah, that's about it. It wasn't one of the better ones that we've seen.
No.
No Return of the Killer Tomatoes.
No,
let me
hell
say
no.
that.
Come on. That one was like gold. And this one is like
Iron?
old copper.
Old copper. It's pewter.
Yes. Yeah, it's melted brass and copper together.
There you go.
Hmm.
It's an alloy. Yeah. I don't know that I would recommend anyone have to watch this ever.
No.
I mean, if you're a Rowdy Roddy Piper fan, you're going to watch it.
Yeah, you have to.
You should.
Yeah, like Body Slam.
If you like movies like, what did I mention earlier? Amazon Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death, you're going to love Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Yeah.
This is definitely one of those B, maybe C movies, you know?
Oh my God, it was like an E movie.
I don't know. It had a bigger budget than some of the B movies that I've seen.
Right.
For sure.
I mean, but somebody gave this dude money, so, you know.
A lot of it, because he made a lot of movies.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's rich. I'm saying that people like invested enough to make these movies. 3 sequels to this movie. I did not know there was one.
Well, you know, when did rollerblades come out? No, like actual rollerblades. When were they first manufactured?
I don't know the answer to that.
Had to have been like 92 or something, right? So he grabbed that up. It was like having one of those pogo balls or some shit like that.
Well, he had Rollerball was out well before all that.
Was it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Solar Babies?
I don't think Solar Babies was one of his movies.
No, it wasn't. He missed the boat on that one.
Yeah, Rollerblade came out in 1985.
Damn.
But I think they were on skates, right?
Probably.
I'm pretty sure.
And
the original one.
Yeah, and it just sounds like, it sounds cool. It's a rollerblade.
Rollerball. Roller Gator. What? That's a movie, dude.
Yeah.
Somebody paid somebody to make a movie called Roller Gator. That's all I'm saying. And they're like, you know what? You did such a good job on Roller
Honestly,
Ball.
At the pitch meeting, somebody was on drugs.
So I really feel like, so this is the late 80s, right? So really mid 80s is where he kind of hit with Rollerball, right? Which I think it was a remake, right?
Rollerball?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that one, because there was a 75, right?
Yeah, that was the James Caan.
James Caan.
Yeah. He just looked sweaty throughout the whole movie.
But then, yeah, you're not wrong. And it's so weird. And so was that just a remake of the 75 one?
Yeah, the one with LL Cool J.
No, that was the 2002 one.
Oh.
I'm talking about the 85 one. That's where I'm confused.
I don't think so, though.
Is it a different movie altogether?
Oh, man, somebody was drinking from the Mighty Minnetonka whenever they came out with fucking rollerblades. In 1980. I didn't know it was that. I didn't know they were that old. God damn, it took 10 years for them to really catch on. Wow. I think, isn't rollerblading an Olympic sport too?
There's no way.
No way.
No way. I think I'm confusing because he made Rollerblade, not Rollerball.
No, Rollerball.
That was old. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, what? They made that many of that movie? I don't think I ever saw Rollerblade.
Did you ever rollerblade?
Yeah, like a couple times. Like it wasn't my thing. I was more of a skateboard kid.
Well, me being cursed with the top heaviness, it's a glandular problem. I was always too top heavy to even balance, most of the time. So yeah, I had a skateboard, a ramp rat. It was pretty awesome.
Nice.
Big old fishtail on it and shit.
Heck yeah.
Had a really cool design on the bottom of it, nice trucks. Rollerblades? Never owned any. Never wanted to because I hated skating.
Oh, there you go.
When you went to the, I hated going to the skating rink certain times just because that was the only thing to do. And people love skating, right? I knew a lot of people that loved it. But every time I would go, I'd just like, this sucks. I'm going to play Pac-Man.
I think I liked it when, like, my friends had a birthday party and somebody, like, would have a party there.
Right.
But on the regular, like I wasn't I'm going skating on Friday night kind of kid.
But you know what's so crazy though? When we moved here, and we moved to where we live now, there is a giant roller skating rink over there.
Really?
Skate City.
Oh yeah. That's my daughter had her birthdays there a couple years in a row.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
To me, that's crazy. I'm like, wow, this thing is pretty popular, right? They have a lot of school functions over there. I don't know. I mean, it's no Dave
There's
and
two
Buster's.
of them.
Yeah,
Here in town.
The one that's over there off of Austin Bluffs. Yeah. If you're in the area
and want to go skating,
I tell you what, though. If you listen to us and you're in the Springs and you want to have your birthday party at Skate City, we will be there. We'll do a live remote.
A live remote from your Skate City birthday party.
Yes. And when they go into the black light, it'd be like, yes, you're on a ride at the fair.
And what Brock means by that is, while that is true, I will mostly be playing video games.
Yeah. We'll record a show with you and play Mortal Kombat 2.
And hell comes to Frogtown.
So I think that's it.
Yeah, I would give this like 1 out of 3 dancing snakes.
Yeah, I think I'm there with
or
you
whatever
too.
it is.
Yeah, 1 out of 3.
It wasn't terrible to watch one time.
If you've never seen it, watch it.
Yeah, you should watch it once. Everybody should watch it once.
It's like if you watched a Barbarian Brothers movie, you've seen enough.
That's right. You don't need to see any more movies with those guys in it.
Yeah, there's like 2 of them that were decent. Where they were truckers, and the other one,
and the one where they were barbarians.
Yeah, so 3. So yeah, hit us up on the socials. We're on every single one of them. Is there any more? Yeah, but Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Send us a shout out, something. Also, leave a like, comment, or even subscribe. So thanks to everybody sending in the mail. That's pretty awesome. If you have any anecdotes or stories about Hell Comes to Frogtown, please send them our way.
That's right.
That would be pretty awesome. And
try to leave out the lurid details if this was something you watched when you were like 12.
Yeah.
And you got excited.
Yeah, we
don't need to know. We don't need to go down that path.
We don't need to know how many pregnant socks that you own. That's just for me to say.
I don't know. Earlier it was pregnant shoes, and I was like, gross.
I know, right? How is that possible? Socks, yes. Okay. And special, a shout to our sponsor, Colorado Junk Removal. If you have anything that you need to get rid of in the Springs, call these people up at 719-249-1717 or go to, is it coloradojunk.com? Yes. And hit them up. Get rid of some of that junk. Don't take it to the thrift store. Pay somebody to take it away. It's worth it. All right. Well, guys, congratulations for making it through this episode.
Whew, this was a rough one.
Congratulations, Dan. You did it.
Hey, you know what? Congratulations to you, Brock.
Yeah, try. So,
congratulations to you, listener. Because you made it to the end of Hell Comes to Frogtown episode with us.
Yes.
It's a little different than some of our other episodes.
Yeah. Maybe we'll actually do a good movie one of these days. Like something that was really good. I don't know.
I think we just did a pretty good movie.
Robot Jocks?
Sure.
What movie do you speak of?
Well, it was probably, depending on how they come out, the movie right before this one, which would have been Donnie Darko.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of movies that we have done that I do enjoy.
Oh, yeah. We've been doing a lot of stinkers besides that one.
Well, really, we went, I think it was when we started the Droppin' Deuces thing.
Yes.
And then for some reason we were just, let's do a bunch of terrible movies. Because before that we were doing like awesome movies that we love.
Yeah. Let's do some more Droppin' Deuces.
We can absolutely drop some deuces up in here.
But thanks for listening, everybody.
I'm not 100% sure that this wasn't a deuce of a podcast.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, it was a deuce of a podcast. But thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was one of the shortest podcasts we ever did.
It's because it was a fucking terrible movie, dude.